Olivia. Okay, I just got done watching last night with my mom and brother the movie Obsession, and I have a lot to say about it. But before I get started, make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Alright, let's get going. Wow, I don't think I've seen a good horror movie that was also pretty creepy and had some scary stuff to it that's also new in a long time. Besides Sinners and Weapons, there just genuinely haven't been any, good horror movies that were also, fun, entertaining, while also kind of creepy and eerie. Now, I've been hearing everywhere from everyone that this movie was really good, and they were obsessed with it, so I had some expectations, I had some standards going in, and honestly, even this movie exceeded my standards and expectations. I knew it was going to be good, but I did not know it was going to be this good. Amazing. This will be a spoiler-free review, so for those of you who haven't seen it yet, nothing will be given away. But what this movie is about, this guy, his name is Bear, he has this huge crush on one of the girls in his friend group. Her name is Nikki, and he really wants to date her and be with her. He's liked her for a long time, and he was planning on confessing and telling her. But since basically throughout this whole movie, he's a complete man-child, a coward, and just a total idiot, he doesn't end up telling her, even though she literally gives him an opening, and she's like, "Hey man, if you like me, tell me now." His dumbass was like, "I think we're great friends." And then she gets mad and leaves. I was a little confused at first. I couldn't tell if this girl was just leading him on or if she liked him too, because she'd seem like she was flirting with him, but then she'd make a lot of comments like, "Ew, oh my gosh," or "Ew, what?" I don't know if she was just doing that because she was trying to seem cool and nonchalant about things. But it genuinely did seem like she liked him, because after he said that, she got mad and kind of left. So I'm just going to say she liked him too. So if he would have just been honest, they could have been together. But no, instead, he bought this fake wishbone from a store. He didn't think it was going to be real. He was just going to use it for fun. So after she did that, instead of going after her and being honest like a real man would do, he took the bone and he's like, "I wish Nikki Freeman would love me more than anyone else in the entire world," and then snapped it. And apparently it worked. But because he phrased that in such a stupid, dumb, stupid way, she loved him more than anyone else in the entire world. And I won't say anything else, but that's the plot. And you can probably imagine how that could possibly go wrong. Anything but just saying "I wish you would like me back." Or just, being honest. Now, after watching that scene, I knew where the movie was gonna go. You could obviously tell it's not a complex, deep plot, but I was just not expecting the movie to go so deep and insane and crazy. Because, it's still a horror movie. And man, did they really nail that horror aspect. Now, this movie kind of reminded me a little bit of something, especially when Bear did use the words, "I wish Nikki Freeman would love me more than anyone else in the entire world," and just how the movie is called Obsession, and it's obvious she becomes, obsessed with him, and she really loves him, but was she really the one who was obsessed with him? Or was it him that was really the one that was obsessed with her? Obviously, it's the latter. Because there were so many scenarios and things that would happen in the movie that any normal person would be like, "No, yeah, I'm running away, packing my bags. This isn't normal, and this isn't Nikki. There's maybe something else at play here, and I should probably just go." But Bear didn't. He thought he could handle everything. He thought he could live with this and deal with it, and he was okay with loving someone and taking advantage of someone who wasn't actually there, and it wasn't actually the real them. And fine, you can give the excuse that, like, well, he didn't know at first it was because of the wishbone. Yeah, he still probably then should have helped her go to therapy or get admitted. Because if you really love someone and really care about them, you're not going to just let them do things that are dangerous to themselves and others. And honestly, the whole time I was watching this, I was really annoyed. Not because of that, but because I would see comments on, like, social media and just these apps, and girls are like, wait, they're like making memes about it and like relating it to themselves, and they're like, wait, but like Nikki's low-key me. No, let's not normalize that behavior. You should never, ever be that obsessed with someone where you basically like can only live if they live. And you have a codependency. Like, you need them and you just can't physically function without them. And, like, the first few ones I laughed because I assumed it was a joke, but then, like, it was starting to sound very real from people. And once again, I kind of went into this in my last video with, like, newer generations and friendships, but I don't know what's going on in this newer generation with relationships either, because people just jump into relationships now. They don't get to know each other. They don't go on dates. They don't, like, hang out as friends first. They meet someone, they snap each other on Snapchat for, like, a week, and then that's good enough, and they start dating right away and, like, being in a relationship or a situationship or whatever. It's stupid. It's dumb. You don't actually love them after, like, a month or two of dating. I'm guilty of that. I've done it before, and I regretted it. It was stupid. Voicemails to Isabel was the perfect example of how you do a relationship. You get to know each other, you go on dates, you hang out. You don't say I love you after the first time dating. You say I love you after you really get to know them and you know all of their good, great, positive, amazing sides and their not so strong sides. Like Bear, for example. He really, really, really liked her. He would have done anything for Nikki. He has, like, wanted her his whole life. He seemed pretty chill at the beginning of the movie. He seemed nice. He seemed fun. And then it turns out he had a different side to him, where he just took advantage of her and completely let her cook his cat and didn't think that he should, like, definitely get her admitted to a psych ward. I'm not a judgmental person, but if I see a couple that's been dating for, like, a month and they're already telling each other they love each other and they've become so obsessed with each other that they, like, see each other 24/7 all the time, have no boundaries, have no space, have no lives besides each other, I'm gonna judge and be very, very, very concerned and scared. I'll do one quick personal example here before I move on to talking about the movie. When I was living in South Carolina, we had a whole friend group of friends, and these two, this guy and this girl, start dating in the friend group, and all of a sudden, guess who was never seen anymore? Those two. Because they were so obsessed with each other. We would play kickball every night. We'd do so many outside games because it was warm all the time. We'd stay out super late. We'd play football, kick the can, all the classics. Those two, the whole time, would just be PDAing all over each other, sitting on a park bench, snuggling, while we're all, like, playing and having fun and making memories. And then guess what happened? Eventually, they ended up breaking up. Shocker. To nobody. And I really bet, especially the guy, regrets being so attached to her and each other that they never got to, like, have normal friendship experiences. It's just weird, because wouldn't you, like, feel embarrassed if you were out in public doing that? Especially, like, at a park where kids play and parents go to, like, watch their kids. I remember trying to be friends with that girl too. And I had her over to my house to have a sleepover. And she was on her phone most of the time texting him. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. So don't be like that. Don't be like that couple if you are together and have been together for a while. Don't be like Bear and Nikki. It's not cute. It's not fun for anyone else around you. And it's actually not good for you and your partner either, because it's just gonna sabotage your relationship in the long run. Do it correctly, like voicemails to Isabel, because the whole point of this movie was, well, with the wishbone, be careful what you wish for, and also, obsession is not healthy. Bear was toxic. The friend group, his own friends even, were like, dude, you're taking advantage of her, stop it. And poor Nikki is, yeah, she's gonna be so gone. She's just gone. Besides, like, the moral of the story here, this movie was so entertaining, and it is a fun movie to watch if you have, like, a friend group, or you're by yourself and you want, like, to be in that scary mood. This movie did such a great job of adding the horror aspect, especially because of Nikki and her actress. I think the actress's name is Inde Navarrette. Inde Navarrette. She did so amazing with her facial expressions and just her acting. I mean, in the background when she'd kind of be like jerkily walking, and her facial expressions when she'd be like talking to Bear and she was like obsessed with him. She'd have like a cute romantic look on her face, but then her eyes would look scared because it's not the real Nikki. Like, her face would be portraying one emotion, but her eyes would be portraying another. She did so phenomenal, and if this girl doesn't get an award or something, I'm gonna be mad. It felt so real. Like, it really felt like she was actually possessed by, like, some magical wishbone. Like, it did not feel like she was just a person acting. It felt like she was actually there, and it was actually happening to her. I have never been more impressed with someone's acting, like, in my life. Or in a while, at least. Because some of the older classic movies have, like, great acting. Like, the more dramatic and, like, insane they are. Like, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. But especially with, like, these newer movies coming out, I have just not been that impressed with the acting. Like, yeah, the movie itself might be good, but you can just tell these are actors. With Nikki/Inde, I just could not tell. She was brilliant. So, if this movie just doesn't sound interesting to you and you're not a huge fan of the genre, you should still watch it. If not for the movie or the entertainment, at least for her, because then you will see just how, like, compelling and, like, insane she is and how dedicated she is to her role. Just the pure raw talent. And yeah, I will glaze this girl in this movie till I die, probably. And yeah, obviously everyone else in the movie was phenomenal too. Like, Bear, his actor was great. They all were amazing. Obviously, Nikki just had a much bigger, like, role to play in part, which is why, like, she easily had the hardest job, and she nailed it. But yeah, I just really liked the whole vibe of this movie, and how they, like, ended up using the wishbone. Like, they made her, like, obsessed with him, and obviously, like, fall in love with him, but I was not expecting them to go, like, all horror on it, where it, like, actually made sense to it, too. Like, how she'd be, like, creepily standing there watching him sleep. Like, that makes sense. Obviously, it's messed up and weird, but it makes sense with the obsession part, because she, like, just thrives off of him, and she needs him. They didn't just have her do random stuff, like her crawling on the ceiling, or, like, you know, where it's like, okay, at this point, we're just doing theatrics. She's not a demon. She was just possessed by magic. But it still has to make sense to what he wished for. No, everything she did made sense to, like, the horror aspect too, but was also still scary and intense. While also, like, kind of showing us that it really wasn't the real her. Like, when she'd randomly have, like, her little freakouts, as Bear would like to call it, okay, dude, really? Like, you gotta go. Get this guy out of here. It's because it wasn't the real her. They just did such a great job with this movie. I was expecting it to be good, but I was not expecting it to be this fantastic and impressive. The actors, the plot, the story, what they made the characters do, they just really went all out. Especially with then, like, showing that Nikki was the victim. Like, yeah, she was the scary one, and the one who was, like, obsessed on the surface with him, but she was still the victim. He, Bear, was the one who was truly obsessed with her, and the one who is mentally the scariest for, like, doing this to her, and then also putting up with it and thinking it's okay and not trying to fix it and get help. Like, yeah, buddy, you did this to yourself. So yeah, this movie was amazing, and I do think everybody should watch it, because low-key at first, I was like, I don't know if I care to see a movie about a girl being obsessed with a dude. Like, it just didn't sound that interesting to me. Sounded kind of lame. I didn't really, not lame, but just kind of basic. I didn't really know how they were gonna, like, include horror and actually make it scary. But they did. So if you're like me with the first impressions, like, everybody's just glazing this movie so hard. It's probably not even all that. No, it is. So yeah, I won't say anything else because I don't want to give anything away. But the acting, the movie, everything was just so good. And it makes you feel with the characters. Like, it just really does get you so immersed. And also, even though Bear is technically, like, the bad guy, you also are hating him while also wanting him to, like, live. You're like, oh my gosh, poor Bear, she's crazy. To then at the end being like, no, Bear was the crazy one. Michael Johnston is the name of Bear's actor. And even though Bear is a very unlikable character in the movie because he's a coward and a man-child and stupid, the actor Michael Johnston did a phenomenal job of, like, making us feel those emotions towards him. He had to seemingly play the victim, but then also show that he wasn't, with his actions, his facial expressions, his voice, and he did phenomenal. And also, another great thing he did that I noticed was, like, he would get progressively more and more unhinged as the movie goes, because he was dealing with, like, the trauma that Nikki was giving him, but also because he was just starting to get, like, more corrupt and just over everything. Like, his plan was obviously failing, not going the way he wanted or expected it to at all. So he just did a really great job of portraying all those emotions. But yeah, I'll leave it there. This movie was amazing. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Also, let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie, if you liked it or not, what movie you want to see me review next, and also what you think too. Just if you've noticed some of the stuff I've noticed with this newer generation, and just honestly people in general too, how they act. If you notice they just, like, jump into things, shot out of a cannon. Otherwise, like if you've enjoyed, comment, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you around.